What's something people don't know about the fall of Constantinople? Imagine a city of shimmering marble and towering domes, a beacon of civilization at the edge of two continents. This was Constantinople in the 15th century, a city that stood as a testament to the enduring legacy of the Roman Empire. For over 1,000 years it had been a vital hub connecting east and west. Trade routes flowed through its bustling harbors, carrying silk and spices from the Orient, and precious metals and textiles from Europe. Constantinople was more than just a center of commerce. Its libraries housed priceless manuscripts, remnants of a bygone era, and a testament to the city's intellectual prowess. The city's architectural marvels, like the magnificent Hagia Sophia, stood as enduring symbols of its cultural and spiritual significance. Then, by the dawn of the 15th century, Constantinople found itself precariously perched on the edge of a precipice. The once mighty Byzantine Empire, weakened by centuries of internal strife and external threats, was now a mere shadow of its former glory. The city of Constantinople, however, remained a prize worth fighting for. Its strategic location on the Bosphorus Strait gave it unparalleled control over the flow of goods and people between the two continents. But the walls of Constantinople, once considered impregnable, were starting to crumble. In the heart of Anatolia, a young and ambitious sultan named Mehmed II ascended to the Ottoman throne. Known as Mehmed the Conqueror, he inherited a realm on the cusp of greatness. Mehmed, however, had his eyes set on a grander prize, Constantinople, the jewel of Byzantium. The capture of Constantinople was not merely a strategic objective for Mehmed, it was an obsession. He saw it as a personal destiny, a chance to etch his name in the annals of history. Mehmed's ambitions, however, were met with defiance from Constantine II, the last emperor of Byzantium. As tensions mounted and diplomatic efforts faltered, both sides prepared for the inevitable clash. Mehmed II, barely 21 years old, was obsessed with Constantinople. He spent his days poring over ancient maps and scrolls, studying the city's defenses. The Sultan's fascination with the Byzantine capital was not merely driven by ambition or a lust for conquest. He saw the capture of Constantinople as a sacred duty, a divinely ordained mission to fulfill his destiny as a conqueror. Within the walls of Constantinople, Emperor Constantine II Palaiologos, the last of the Roman emperors, prepared for the inevitable onslaught. He was a man burdened by the weight of history, the legacy of 1,000 years resting heavily upon his shoulders. Constantine knew that the odds were stacked against him. The Byzantine Empire was a shadow of its former self, its treasury depleted, its armies weakened. Yet he was determined to defend his capital to the last breath, to honor the sacrifices of his ancestors. He appealed to the West for aid, sending emissaries to the courts of Europe, pleading for men and resources to help him withstand the coming storm. As the year 1452 drew to a close, the shadow of the Ottoman army loomed large over Constantinople. Mehmed II, determined to leave nothing to chance, had spent the previous year consolidating his power, strengthening his forces, and meticulously planning his attack. He had assembled an army unlike any seen before, a vast force estimated to be over 100,000 strong. Among Mehmed's most prized possessions was a massive cannon, forged by a Hungarian master gunsmith named Orban. The sight of the Ottoman army, a sea of banners and weaponry stretching as far as the eye could see, struck fear into the hearts of the defenders. The walls of Constantinople, a marvel of Byzantine engineering, stood as the last line of defense between the city and the Ottoman army. Built centuries earlier, these triple-layered walls, reinforced with towers and gates, had withstood countless sieges. The outer wall, lower in height but still formidable, served as the first line of defense. The middle wall, the tallest of the three, stood over 25 feet high and was studded with towers at regular intervals. The inner wall, the strongest of the three, stood behind a wide moat and was designed to withstand battering rams and other siege weapons. On April 6, 1453, the sun rose over a sight that chilled the hearts of the city's defenders. The Ottoman army, a vast force that seemed to stretch to the horizon, had completed its encirclement of Constantinople. Mehmed II, a fierce and imposing figure astride his war horse, surveyed the scene with a mixture of anticipation and grim determination. The Sultan ordered his troops to commence the bombardment. Cannons roared, sending tremors through the ground and showers of stone and earth raining down upon the city. Inside the city, the initial shock of the Ottoman assault gave way to a determined resistance. Emperor Constantine II, his voice hoarse but resolute, rallied his men. The Ottoman bombardment continued relentlessly day and night. The thunder of cannons echoed across the Bosphorus, a terrifying symphony of destruction. Orban's massive cannon, nicknamed the Basilica by the Ottomans, proved to be a particularly fearsome weapon. Sections of the outer wall began to crumble under the relentless barrage, yet the defenders held firm, repairing breaches with whatever materials they could find. They countered the Ottoman artillery with their own smaller cannons and catapults, launching volleys of stones, arrows, and Greek fire. As the siege wore on, life inside Constantinople became a desperate struggle for survival. The constant bombardment took its toll, not just on the city's defenses, but also on the morale of its inhabitants. Food and water became scarce, disease spread rapidly through the cramped and unsanitary conditions. Women and children joined the men on the walls, carrying water and supplies, tending to the wounded. Emperor Constantine VI, a tireless and inspiring leader, moved among his people, offering words of encouragement. Despite the hardships they faced, the defenders of Constantinople displayed remarkable resilience and courage. Mehmed II, frustrated by the slow progress of the siege, faced a strategic dilemma. The Golden Horn, a natural harbour that formed Constantinople's northern defences, remained firmly in Byzantine hands. A massive chain stretched across the mouth of the harbour prevented the Ottoman fleet from entering. The Sultan, known for his strategic brilliance, devised an audacious plan. Under the cover of darkness, Ottoman engineers constructed a wooden platform, greased with animal fat, over the hills that bordered the Golden Horn. Over the course of a single night, they hauled 70 Ottoman ships one by one overland, bypassing the chain and entering the Golden Horn. With the Golden Horn under Ottoman control, the full might of the Ottoman army could now be brought to bear on Constantinople's landward walls. The bombardment intensified, reducing large sections of the outer wall to rubble. Mehmed II, sensing victory was within reach, ordered his troops to prepare for a final all-out assault. On May 29, 1453, as dawn broke over the besieged city, the Ottoman army surged forward in a wave of humanity. Scaling ladders were thrown against the walls, and Ottoman soldiers, fueled by religious zeal and the promise of plunder, surged forward. The defenders, outnumbered but defiant, met the attack head-on, a desperate struggle for survival raging along the ramparts. Section 1. The Breach at the Gate. The battle raged with unimaginable ferocity. Defenders fought with tenacity, repelling wave after wave, but Ottoman artillery took its toll. The gate of St. Romanus gave way. Ottoman soldiers surged forward, sensing victory. Defenders fought desperately but were overwhelmed. Constantinople's walls had been breached. Section 2. The Last Stand of the Emperor. Emperor Constantine XI, clad in purple robes and wielding his sword, rallied his remaining troops near the breach. He knew that the fate of his empire, the legacy of Rome, hung in the balance. This was his final stand, his moment to etch his name in the annals of history alongside the great emperors of Byzantium. With a voice hoarse from battle but filled with defiance, he urged his men forward, leading a desperate counterattack against the Ottoman forces surging through the breach. The fighting was hand-to-hand, brutal and unforgiving, a maelstrom of steel, blood and death. The emperor, a skilled warrior, despite his imperial upbringing, fought with the ferocity of a man possessed. He hewed down Ottoman soldiers with his sword, his every blow fueled by a determination to defend his city, his people and his legacy. But the Byzantine forces, outnumbered and outmaneuvered, were slowly being pushed back. The Ottoman soldiers, sensing the emperor's presence, pressed their attack, eager to claim the ultimate prize, the head of the last Roman emperor. Section 3. The city overwhelmed. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows over the beleaguered city, the Ottoman forces gained the upper hand. The defenders, exhausted and depleted, could no longer hold back the relentless tide of invaders pouring through the breached gate and other vulnerable sections of the wall. The streets of Constantinople, once bustling with life and commerce, became a chaotic battleground. Buildings were set ablaze, sending plumes of thick smoke into the twilight sky. The air was filled with the clash of steel, the screams of the wounded, and the terrified cries of civilians caught in the crossfire. Ottoman soldiers, their eyes burning with victory, fanned out through the city, looting, pillaging, and claiming the spoils of war. Churches and monasteries, once sanctuaries of peace and piety, were ransacked and desecrated. The Byzantine citizens, their world crumbling around them, could only watch in horror as their once great city was put to the sword. The Hippodrome, once the heart of Byzantine social and political life, became a scene of unimaginable carnage. Thousands of citizens seeking refuge from the fighting were trapped within its walls, their pleas for mercy drowned out by the roar of battle. Section 4. The Fall of a Legacy. Amidst the chaos and carnage, the fate of Emperor Constantine XI remained a mystery. Some witnesses claimed to have seen him fall in the heat of battle, his body lost amidst the crush of soldiers near the breached gate. Others whispered tales of a miraculous escape of the emperor slipping through the Ottoman lines, destined to return one day and reclaim his lost throne. But as darkness fell over the conquered city, one thing became tragically clear: the Byzantine Empire had fallen. The legacy of Constantine the Great lay in ruins. The Hagia Sophia fell silent. Its golden dome was soon draped in the banners of Islam. Mehmed II rode triumphantly through the streets of Constantinople. He had achieved what generations of Muslim rulers before him had only dreamed of. He had captured the Queen of Cities, ushering in a new era dominated by the Ottoman Empire. The days that followed the fall of Constantinople were a time of unimaginable suffering and despair for its surviving inhabitants. The Ottoman army, granted 3 days of pillage by their Sultan, ran rampant through the city, seizing valuables, desecrating holy sites, and enslaving thousands of men, women and children. Families were torn apart, ancient treasures were looted and carted away, and the streets ran red with the blood of the innocent. The once vibrant heart of Byzantine civilization had been transformed into a scene of devastation and despair. Mehmed II, his ambitions sated, entered the Hagia Sophia and ordered it convert into a mosque, a powerful symbol of Ottoman dominance and the triumph of Islam over Christianity in the East. He would go on to establish Constantinople as the new capital of his empire, renaming it Istanbul, a name it retains to this day. The fall of Constantinople sent shockwaves across Europe, marking the end of an era and the beginning of a new chapter in the balance of power between East and West. It also had a profound impact on the course of history, leading to the decline of established trade routes, the rise of new intellectual and artistic movements, and the expansion of Ottoman influence across the Mediterranean and beyond. News of Constantinople's fall spread through Europe like wildfire, carried by traders, diplomats, and refugees. It was a profound shock to the Christian world, a stark reminder of shifting power and vulnerability. The Byzantine Empire, a bulwark of Christendom, was no more. The Ottoman Empire filled the void, expanding its influence across the Mediterranean. The Pope called for a crusade, but his pleas fell on deaf ears. Europe, fragmented and preoccupied, couldn't mount a unified response. The fall disrupted trade routes, leading to economic consequences. For the Ottoman Empire, the capture of Constantinople was a momentous victory, a testament to its growing military might and a symbol of its imperial ambitions. Mehmed II, the conqueror of Constantinople, had etched his name in the annals of history, securing his legacy as one of the most successful military leaders of his age. Under Mehmed's rule, Constantinople, renamed Istanbul, was transformed into the new capital of the Ottoman Empire. The city, once a bastion of Christianity, underwent a gradual but significant transformation as mosques, minarets, and Turkish baths began to dot its skyline, standing alongside the city's Byzantine architectural marvels. The Ottoman Empire, emboldened by its conquest of Constantinople, continued its expansion in the decades that followed. Ottoman armies pushed further into the Balkans, conquering vast swathes of territory and establishing Ottoman rule over a diverse population of Greeks, Serbs, Bulgarians, and Albanians. The Ottomans, however, were not simply conquerors. They were also builders and administrators, establishing a vast and efficient bureaucracy that governed their expanding empire with a blend of pragmatism and Islamic law. They tolerated religious diversity, allowing conquered peoples to practice their own faiths, albeit as second-class citizens subject to certain restrictions. The fall of Constantinople had a profound impact on the intellectual and cultural landscape of Europe. Byzantine scholars, fleeing the Ottoman conquest, carried with them their knowledge of ancient Greek and Roman texts, manuscripts that had been preserved in Constantinople's libraries for centuries. These scholars found refuge in the burgeoning city-states of Italy, particularly Florence, Venice, and Rome, where their arrival coincided with a growing interest in classical learning and a rediscovery of ancient Greek and Roman culture. This influx of Byzantine scholarship contributed to the intellectual ferment that would blossom into the Renaissance, a period of unprecedented artistic, scientific, and intellectual creativity. The fall of Constantinople also had a significant impact on the development of Western European identity. With the loss of the Byzantine Empire, Europe's eastern frontier was now directly exposed to the expanding Ottoman Empire, a Muslim power perceived as a threat to Christendom. This sense of threat, coupled with the loss of Constantinople, a city long seen as a symbol of Christian faith and culture, contributed to a hardening of religious identities in Europe, exacerbating existing tensions between East and West, and fueling religious conflicts in the centuries that followed. While the fall of Constantinople is often viewed as a tragedy, a catastrophic end to a thousand-year-old empire, it also had unintended consequences that would shape the course of Western civilization. The dispersal of Byzantine scholars and their texts across Europe, particularly to Italy, planted the seeds for a cultural and intellectual rebirth. These scholars, steeped in the classics, brought with them a wealth of knowledge that had been largely forgotten in the West. Their arrival coincided with a growing fascination with antiquity, a desire to rediscover the lost wisdom of the ancient Greeks and Romans. Inspired by these ancient texts, Renaissance thinkers and artists began to challenge the medieval worldview, emphasizing human reason, observation, and the pursuit of knowledge. They celebrated human potential, explored new artistic techniques, and made groundbreaking discoveries in science, anatomy, and astronomy. The Renaissance, a period of remarkable intellectual and artistic ferment, owed a debt of gratitude to the fall of Constantinople, an event that, while tragic in its own right, inadvertently helped to spark a new era of human creativity and discovery. The fall of Constantinople in 1453 stands as a pivotal moment in history, a dramatic turning point that marked the end of an era and the beginning of a new world order. It was a clash of civilizations, a testament to the ambition of a rising empire and the desperate defense of a fading power. The event continues to resonate in the present day, a reminder of the enduring power of human ambition, the fragility of empires, and the enduring legacy of the Byzantine and Ottoman civilizations. Istanbul, the city that rose from the ashes of Constantinople, stands as a living testament to this complex and multifaceted history. The fall of Constantinople, however, is not merely a historical footnote. It offers valuable lessons for the present day, reminding us of the importance of cultural preservation, the need for dialogue and understanding between different cultures and faiths, and the ever-present reality of geopolitical shifts and the rise and fall of empires. As we look back on this momentous event, we are reminded that history is not a linear progression, but a tapestry woven from triumphs and tragedies, from the rise and fall of civilizations, and from the enduring legacy of the past shaping the contours of the present. Gap 3S. The fall of Constantinople was not just the end of a city, it was the dawn of a new era. In the immediate aftermath, the city lay in ruins, its people scattered and its heart shattered. Yet from these ashes, a new vision began to emerge. Sultan Mehmed II, now known as Mehmed the Conqueror, set about rebuilding the city, infusing it with the grandeur of both its Byzantine past and his own Ottoman heritage. Gap 4S. He invited artisans, scholars, and merchants from across his empire and beyond, creating a melting pot of cultures and ideas. The Hagia Sophia, once a symbol of Christian orthodoxy, was transformed into a grand mosque, symbolizing the fusion of old and new. The city's strategic position as a bridge between Europe and Asia was revitalized, making it a hub of commerce and culture once more. Gap 3S. But rebuilding was not merely about physical structures. It was a time of reflection, a moment to understand the profound shifts that had taken place. For the citizens of the former Byzantine Empire, it was a period of mourning and adaptation. For the Ottomans, it was a time of consolidation and vision. Gap 3S. The fall of Constantinople also set off ripples across the world. European powers, now cut off from their eastern trade routes, began to seek new paths, leading to the age of exploration and the eventual discovery of the New World. The Renaissance, already stirring in Italy, was fueled by the influx of Greek scholars fleeing the fallen city, bringing with them ancient texts and knowledge. Gap 4S. In this tapestry of rebuilding and reflection, we see the enduring human spirit. The resilience to rise from the ashes, the capacity to adapt and evolve, and the unyielding drive to seek knowledge and understanding. Istanbul, as Constantinople came to be known, stands today not just as a city, but as a symbol of rebirth and continuity, a reminder that from the depths of despair, new heights can be reached. Gap 3S. As we reflect on this transformative period, we are reminded that the end of one era is merely the beginning of another. The fall of Constantinople was not an end, but a new chapter in the ever-evolving story of human civilization. It teaches us that in every ending lies the potential for a new beginning, and in every moment of reflection, the seeds of future growth are sown. Gap 5S. The story of Constantinople, now Istanbul, continues to inspire, reminding us that history is a continuous cycle of destruction and creation, of loss and renewal. It is a testament to the enduring legacy of human ambition, resilience, and the unbreakable spirit of a city that has stood the test of time. Gap 3S. The transformation of Constantinople into Istanbul was not just a physical rebuilding, but a profound cultural metamorphosis. As Sultan Mehmed II welcomed diverse peoples into the city, a vibrant fusion of Eastern and Western cultures began to take shape. This convergence of traditions, ideas, and artistry would leave an indelible mark on the world. Gap 4S. The city became a living mosaic of influences. Ottoman architecture, with its grand domes and intricate tilework, blended seamlessly with Byzantine structures, creating a unique skyline that spoke of both past and present. The Grand Bazaar, bustling with merchants from across continents, became a microcosm of this cultural exchange, where goods, languages, and traditions intermingled. Gap 3S. The impact of this cultural synthesis extended far beyond the city's walls. The Ottoman Empire, now a bridge between East and West, facilitated the flow of knowledge, art, and innovation. Scholars from Persia, Arabia, and Europe converged in Istanbul, creating a fertile ground for intellectual and artistic pursuits. The city's libraries and schools became repositories of ancient wisdom and new discoveries, fostering a golden age of learning. Gap 4S. This blending of cultures also influenced the culinary arts, with spices, techniques, and flavors from different regions merging to create a rich tapestry of tastes. Music and dance too saw a melding of styles, giving rise to new forms of expression that celebrated the diversity of the empire's populace. Gap 3S. Istanbul's role as a cultural nexus had a profound impact on the Renaissance in Europe. The influx of Greek scholars and their texts sparked renewed interest in classical knowledge, fueling the intellectual revival that swept across the continent. This exchange of ideas was a testament to the enduring power of cultural interaction and the limitless potential of human creativity. Gap 4S. In the centuries that followed, Istanbul continued to be a beacon of cultural convergence, influencing art, literature, science, and philosophy. Its legacy as a meeting point of civilization serves as a powerful reminder of the strength found in diversity and the beauty that emerges when different worlds come together. Gap 3S. As we reflect on the cultural impact of Constantinople's transformation into Istanbul, we are reminded of the profound ways in which the blending of East and West has shaped our shared history. It is a testament to the enduring spirit of human connection and the boundless possibilities that arise when cultures meet and enrich one another. Gap 5S. The story of Istanbul, once Constantinople, is a narrative of cultural resilience and innovation. It stands as a symbol of the enduring legacy of human collaboration, where the meeting of diverse minds and traditions has given rise to a vibrant, ever-evolving tapestry of life. This legacy continues to inspire us, urging us to embrace our shared humanity and the endless opportunities that come from the exchange of ideas and cultures. Gap 3S. As the cultural transformation of Istanbul blossomed, the strategic importance of controlling the Bosphorus Strait became ever more apparent. This narrow waterway, connecting the Black Sea to the Mediterranean, was not just a natural marvel, but a crucial geopolitical choke point. Gap 4. The Ottomans, under Sultan Mehmed II, understood that dominance over the Bosphorus meant control over the crossroads of trade and military movements between Europe and Asia. Fortresses were erected on both sides of the strait, their imposing silhouettes standing as sentinels to secure this vital artery of commerce and defense. Gap 3S. The Bosphorus served as a gateway for the vast riches of the Silk Road, facilitating the flow of spices, silk, and precious metals. Ships from distant lands would navigate these waters, their journeys a testament to the economic lifeline that the strait represented. Control of this passage not only enriched the empire, but also cemented its influence over regional trade networks. Gap 4S. The strategic significance of the Bosphorus extended beyond commerce. It was also a critical military asset. The ability to move troops and naval forces swiftly between the Black Sea and the Mediterranean enabled the Ottomans to project power across a vast expanse from the Balkans to the Levant. This control allowed them to respond to threats and opportunities with unparalleled agility. Gap 3S. The fortresses along the Bosphorus, such as the formidable Rumeli Hisari, were not mere defensive structures. They were symbols of the empire's might and resilience, designed to deter any who would challenge Ottoman supremacy. The strait, guarded by these stone guardians, became an impenetrable barrier to enemy fleets, ensuring the security of the heartland. Gap 4S. The strategic mastery of the Bosphorus by the Ottomans set a precedent for future powers. It demonstrated the critical importance of controlling key maritime choke points in global geopolitics. The lessons learned from the Ottoman control of the Bosphorus continue to resonate in modern times, where the control of strategic waterways remains a cornerstone of national security. Gap 3S. As we reflect on the Ottoman Empire's strategic acumen, we are reminded of the enduring importance of geography in shaping the destinies of nations. The Bosphorus, a slender ribbon of water, played a pivotal role in the rise of one of history's most powerful empires. Its legacy as a strategic lifeline endures, a testament to the timeless interplay between geography and power. Gap 5. The story of the Bosphorus is a narrative of strategic foresight and geopolitical significance. It stands as a symbol of the enduring legacy of control over critical waterways, where the meeting of land and sea has shaped the course of history. This legacy continues to inspire us, urging us to recognize the profound impact of geography on the fortunes of nations and the enduring importance of strategic mastery. Gap 3 says, as we delve into the legacy of the fall of Constantinople, it becomes clear that the lessons learned from this monumental event resonate through the corridors of history. The conquest of this ancient city was not merely the end of an era, but the beginning of profound transformations that shaped the modern world. Gap 4S. The fall of Constantinople marked the end of the Byzantine Empire, a civilization that had been a beacon of culture, knowledge, and faith for over a millennium. Its demise served as a stark reminder of the impermanence of even the most formidable empires. Gap 3S. For the Ottomans, the conquest was a crowning achievement, solidifying their status as a dominant power in the region. It showcased their strategic brilliance and military prowess, setting a precedent for future empires to learn from. The meticulous planning, the innovative use of technology, and the relentless determination exhibited by Sultan Mehmed II and his forces became a case study in effective siege warfare. Gap 4S. The fall also had a ripple effect on the rest of Europe. It spurred the age of exploration as European powers sought new trade routes to Asia, bypassing the now Ottoman-controlled land routes. This quest for alternative pathways eventually led to the discovery of the New World, fundamentally altering global trade and cultural exchanges. Gap 3S. The influx of Greek scholars fleeing the fallen city brought with them ancient manuscripts and classical knowledge, which fueled the Renaissance in the West. This intellectual revival laid the groundwork for the scientific revolution and the Enlightenment, transforming the cultural and intellectual landscape of Europe. Gap 4S. The fall of Constantinople also underscored the importance of adapting to changing geopolitical realities. It demonstrated that even the most formidable defenses could be overcome by those who innovate and adapt. This lesson remains relevant today as nations navigate the complexities of modern geopolitics. Gap 3S. The legacy of the fall of Constantinople is a multifaceted one. It is a story of loss and renewal, of the end of an ancient order and the birth of a new one. It reminds us of the enduring impact of historical events on the present and future. Gap 4S. As we reflect on this pivotal moment in history, we are reminded of the resilience and adaptability that define the human spirit. The lessons learned from the fall of Constantinople continue to inspire and guide us, urging us to recognize the importance of strategic foresight, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. Gap 5S. The legacy of the fall is not just a chapter in the annals of history, it is a testament to the enduring power of transformation and the timeless lessons that history imparts. It is a reminder that from the ashes of the past, new possibilities and new horizons emerge, shaping the course of human destiny.